What's up? It's Tony DeBell here, and you can see that today it's in a brand new location. You see, right now the audio quality is probably going to be worse since I'm currently at my house and I didn't bring my equipment. But we're just gonna roll. Actually, let me just show you what it is before we get into the video. So, bam! Look at my sexy room. All right, let's get started. So how exactly do you do affirmations? Affirmations is one of those things you see in those success, books or whatever, where you start to affirm whatever you want to believe in. And after going through a couple of trials of how do you affirm it so that it actually works and not just words in your head? And that's what I'm going to be here explaining on what works for me. So the very first thing, the most important that I found out is that you want to make sure that whatever you affirm, you actually have proof in your real life. So for example, I used to do affirmations where I'd be like, I have the most discipline, I have the most energy, I am the most respected person on the planet. And the problem with that is that although I would say that in my head and I would genuinely believe it and your brain would believe it, afterwards I'd be working for 2 hours, and then all of a sudden I would be watching Netflix or reading books. And then what that really does is that it really makes it hard for your mind to believe, because your mind believes you're the most disciplined person and your body doesn't believe it's not the most disciplined person. And then all of a sudden there's this little disconnect, and that's why most affirmations don't last more than a week, or it's very hard to believe because it's very hard to believe genuinely inside, because you're not proving to yourself that you are the most disciplined person. Another very common example is it's simple with characteristics, because with energy you can do things to increase your energy. With discipline you have control over that. It's a bit harder when it comes to things where you affirm things where it's something like, I'm the richest man on the planet, I have the best network, I travel all over the place, and you don't actually do those things. So what you could do to build up to that, and in order to build supporting proof, imagine a table and you want to build supporting legs for each of those beliefs that you want to embody. So you may not currently have the best network or the best connections right now, but in order to create small little proofs that you're building up to it, you need to go out for opportunities. For example, you would need to go out and actually network with people. You would actually have to go out, step outside of your comfort zone, DM on LinkedIn, do whatever it takes to start networking with people. Now, it may not be the best network in the world yet, but what happens is over time, you're going to start to build a belief system of you can create the best network, which is a belief you need to have before you have the best network. And it's creating that supporting proof before you actually reach it. And the same thing with being rich, being connections. So wherever you are, you need to build proof in your body and in your mind that you are that thing. That's how affirmations work. The second thing you want to do with affirmations is you want to make sure that whatever you are affirming, you want to make sure that it is your focus. That's why you see a lot of people say, instead of saying I will be rich, you say I am rich, because you want to be in the present. Now, the problem with that though is that you currently aren't rich, so you need supporting proof, which ties back to point number one. But the way you phrase it is also very important. You want to phrase it so that you are currently living in that present. You don't want to frame it as I am not poor, because being not poor does not mean you're rich. Being not poor means you may be above average, you may be average, you may be making maybe even $1 million, but it does not mean you're rich. Being rich has a certain connotation. Now, it depends what you think of being rich is, but if you imagine being rich as someone that's Jeff Bezos, you could say he's not poor, but you could also say a millionaire is not poor. That's why the way you phrase the language is very important. That's also why you frame it in the present terms. You don't want to frame it in the future. The reason why you frame it in the present is because when you frame it in the present, it believes that you are genuinely there and you're just taking up the stairs to get there. It's the same principle as act like you're there already. Because over time, if you keep acting like you're there, eventually you will be there. If you keep saying, I will be there, I will be there, I will be rich, I will be most respected, you already don't believe genuinely inside that you are not rich and that you're trying to achieve this goal where you're not currently at it. Whereas in the vice versa, if you stay in the present, you're already at the goal and you're just making time catch up to you. It's minor, but it's a very distinct difference that makes all the difference. So the third thing you need to do is, for affirmations, you don't need to be in 10 minutes of silence affirming things, saying, I'm in control of my destiny. What you should rather be doing is, it's actually very good in the very beginning, because when you are new to this, you just want to have complete focus on doing this and genuinely feeling that feeling. But what's important is the way that you speak to yourself every single moment. You want to be very careful in how you talk to yourself, because every word that you say to yourself and every word that you say to others, language is a very powerful thing. And with language, what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's a sort of self-hypnosis to yourself. And what usually happens is, whenever you talk to yourself like that, you will be focusing on whatever you talk to yourself. So if you keep saying negative things to yourself, where you say that you're not the most disciplined, you feeling tired right now. Have you noticed that whenever someone says they're feeling tired, that they're tired most of the time? Just think about that for a second. And all you do is you focus all your attention on when you're tired rather than you have energy. It's a very, very, very interesting. But everything you say to yourself, you want to make sure that you frame it so that it's always in a positive, confident way where you believe in yourself whenever you say that. That's why whatever you say to yourself, so I don't want you saying things where you say, I'm not happy, I'm not disciplined, I'm not able to do that, I'm not able to do that, I can't do that, I can't. I can't is a very dangerous word. You want to believe that whatever you put your mind to it, you can become the very best. Whatever you do, you can become the very best. That's the mentality I want you to have. When I do this, I will become the best if I put my all into it. I am, and when you do that, you build a certain confidence in yourself, because over time you will genuinely believe it. And if you follow point number one, which is the most important, you build supporting pillars to that, your confidence will go stronger. And when your confidence grows stronger, it just emits aura where you genuinely believe it. Other people will be forced into your reality. And that's why building supporting proof and doing affirmations where you are just letting time catch up to you is very important. So that's how you do affirmations. It's nothing so fancy where you sit down for 10 minutes repeating the same thing. That does work in the beginning, but what's most important is making sure that your mindset throughout the whole day is important, because you could think of that 10 minutes of silence as training, such as meditation, but it's what's over the course of the rest of the 23 hours, 24 hours, what you say to yourself is that has the biggest impact. That 10 minutes should be training so that over the day, it's on autopilot. And that's all about affirmations. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, peace out. If you like this content, be sure to subscribe. All right.